sneaky hyena rogue. And an enchantment! We got a white enchantment! So for Authority of the Consuls, for white, it is an enchantment with creatures your opponents control enter tapped. Whenever a creature an opponent controls enters, you gain 1 life. This is a very good enchantment for the deck we're going to be building, which you have come back just in time, because now that I've finished my daily quests, I'm going to build this Brawl deck. So we're going to go to decks. We're going to go to my decks, click on the plus symbol to build a new deck. And we're going to go with Brawl, because if we go with standard Brawl, we won't be able to play the creature we want, who is Psmelli. It automatically drops us 40 lands in, because it's a 100 card deck, so you really want a 40 piece mana base. Obviously we can swap these out for cheap rocks and things if we want. We can add more, we can remove some. But what we need first, oh god, immediately first thing, one of the alchemy cards that I opened that has a bunch of words on that I don't know because they're not real. Well, they are real magic words, they're just not words printed on a magic card. So starting intensity 0, I have no idea what that means. When a creature you control with flying enters, if this creature is named Awestruck Signet, which this creature is, cards you own named Awestruck Signet intensify by 1. So I assume that means they tick up their intensity. As long as this card's intensity is 3 or more, it has base power and toughness 5/4, flying, vigilant, and is named Radiant Swan. So there for the Flicker deck. Because you would also need multiples, so you can't do it in Brawl. But if you have one that enters, a second one that enters, which then ticks up the first one. You then do it again, ticks it up again, do it again, ticks up again, which then makes it a 5/4 flyer for effectively 3, but then you also have the other 2/1. Interesting, not great, but interesting. Okay, let's start with looking at our enchantments. So I will click onto this enchantments, click OK, so that we can literally select it down to just the enchantments. Oh, I don't know why it did that. I do not know what that does. So we definitely want an Authority of the Consuls, so I'll put that in there. That is a very good card. The Bestow to give Mentor is pretty good, because you can cast it as a creature, you can cast it as an aura. Banishing Light is a great card regardless. I don't know how you swap artworks. Kind of want the other artwork, but that's fine. Caretaker's Talent is very good, given that we're going to be making nymph tokens. Whenever we cast an enchantment, we make a nymph token, and then whenever we make a nymph token, we draw a card. So this will just be a very good card draw engine. We can then also tick it up to copy a nymph token, and then when we tick it up again, all our nymphs will become 4/4s, which is kind of gross. Angelic Gift did us some good work there with drawing a card and giving our commander flying. Ajani Fell the Godseye is just a good removal spell. Flick over to the next. Oh, I did put the Banishing Light in. Good. Nyx Fleece Ram's definitely getting in. They're nice and fun. Assemble the Players. 2-drop enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. Looking at the top card can just be useful. It's an enchantment, so it's good. But I don't know how many 2 power or less creatures we'll have in our deck. So for the moment, it will go in. It might come out again later, depending on how the balance plays out. Another Flash Aura. Having Flash on a couple of auras is just useful. Similar, Stasis Snare has Flash, is a piece of removal. It's kind of like a Banishing Light. In fact, I think it is almost exactly a Banishing Light, other than the fact that it has Flash. And it only hits creatures. That's the downside. Felidar Retreat is really good. To landfall to make tokens, which then with our Caretaker's talent buffs all the tokens. The Nykthos Paragon is kind of one of the reasons we're building this deck, because that plus the Nyx Police Ram, or plus the what was the other one? Authority of the Consuls that I just opened, means I'm going to be getting a bunch of life, or one life, pretty much every turn, which is just going to make all of our creatures huge. Flying and Vigilance is nice. +2/+2 and flying is nice. The creature that also has the channel ability on it that also gains life is useful. An enchantment creature is just useful. I think we'll just drop every enchantment in by the looks of it, because the creatures are useful. The pacifism effects are pretty useful. Any version of Banishing Light is good removal, and is going to be our removal for the game. Can't attack, block, or activate its activated abilities. Yeah. When it enters Scry 2, can't attack, block, or activate its activated abilities. Flash Enchantment for 1. It's just useful. So yeah, that's every enchantment, except for the one that does nothing, are getting in the deck, which puts us at 65 cards, which is not huge. Realistically, I would want more enchantments, but okay, we're going to need to look at this. Code, Oracle and Rules text. So if I do O:"enchantment, then it should select every card that says the word enchantment in it, in the rules text, which will hopefully fill out the rest of our deck. So whenever an enchantment you control enters Scry 1, that's pretty good. Whenever an enchantment you control enters tap target creature and opponent controls, that's pretty good. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty good. The Constellation trigger is nice. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. A decent removal spell. Destroy target non-token artifact or enchantment an opponent controls, incubate 2. Or incubate 2, then transform an incubator token you control. Maybe. It is sorcery speeds, they're not great. As long as you control an artifact or enchantment, Flutterfox has flying, you can get in. Unfortunately, that's everything. Destroy target enchantment. If a permanent you controlled or a token was destroyed this way, draw a card. Maybe that gets in. Just white, draw a card. Like, worst case scenario, I blow up one of my own nymphs and draw a card. Best case scenario, I destroy an enchantment that's going to be a problem. Most of the time it's going to hit somewhere in the middle. And it's going to be like, I just destroy a really pointless enchantment that they have that doesn't actually cause much problems. And then unfortunately we have to start looking at all the other stuff. So Unassuming Sage does make roll tokens, which are enchantments, so they can get in. When it attacks another target creature you control, gets +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. Yeah, kind of useful, not super useful though. 3-drop instant. Untapped target creature gets +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. That's some nice protection, but maybe not super useful, but we'll pop it in for the moment. Create a gnome token. If we end up going more for the go wide, then I can definitely drop that in, and that the Hoppit will go with the same card. And during your turn, creatures you control with a +1/+1 counters on them have first strike. Maybe. Quickly hover over all of these to get rid of that new tag. Anything interesting here? The next non-creature spell target opponent casts cost 2 more to cast. Nah. Again, quickly hover over all of them. Any of these look remotely interesting? Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, surveil 1. Maybe? Maybe. And then we get to the colourless section. Because we run out. Creatures you control. When it enters, creatures you control get +1/+0 and first strike. So what we might do, we'll go back here. And we'll drop in that Moment of Valour. And we'll put in these two as well. The Envoy of Okinek Ahau. I've probably pronounced that horrendously wrong, and I apologise. And then a hop to it. Just to get some token generating outside of our enchantment stuff. And a bit of protection from the Moment of Valour. And then we can hop back forward to the colourless things. I doubt any of these will make enchantments. I'll drop the Plain Cycling Bird in as well, just because. We are still a few cards down by quite a way, unfortunately. Tap Fishing Pole, put a bait counter on Fishing Pole. Whenever equipped creature becomes untapped, remove a bait counter from this equipment. If you do, create a 1/1 blue fish creature token. So I can go fishing by tapping it, which makes a token, which might be useful. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll be useful. We'll find out. Collect Evidence 3 is the big downside to that one. Whee! Burnished Heart is just some good fixing. We'll drop that in there. Journeyer's Kite could be useful again. Just shoot us out basic lands. Which, given that we're in monocolour, we've got 40 basic lands. When it enters, you may search your library, put it on top. I don't want that. Don't want that. When Friendly Teddy dies, each player draws a card. Nope. Quickly hover over all of those. Semblance Anvil was one that I pulled in one of the packs. When Semblance Anvil enters, you may exile a non-land card from your hand. Spells you cast that share a card type with the exiled card cost 2 less, which is very useful if I exile an enchantment, and then all my enchantments cost 2 less, so that can go in. Skittering Surveyor, when it enters, you search your life for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. We're basically just looking for ways to grab land to thin our deck, basically, and to fill out our deck. Akroma's Memorial is just a very solid card. Then, if we're looking for deck thinning, maybe I do just chuck in Evolving Wilds and the other things as well, but I really don't want to. Oh, that's how you pick the mode. Ah, okay. In which case, I probably go back to the other one. For the moment, we'll stick with this. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Escape tunnel might be useful. And luckily, the way this is formatted, when you click to add a land, it removes one of your basics. So it tries to keep you at 40. There's not a huge amount of other things there. Oh, but then we've got like more cards this way. I thought we had more cards. Whenever another creature you control enters, gain 1 life. Useful. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and you gain 1 life. may be useful. The life gain is kind of what I'm going for in this section. Whenever you get, here we go, Johnny's Primate, whenever you gain life, put a counter on it. That's good. Because I've run out of enchantments very quickly. When it enters, you scry 2, gain 3 life, or flicker a creature. Not sure. Artifact food. When it enters, you create a rabbit and scry, and then it's a food so you can eat it to gain life. Maybe I want that because it makes a token but also can gain me life. We'll put it in for now. Oh, never seen this card before in my life because it's an alchemy card. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile another artifact you control or an artifact card in your graveyard. If you do, seek an artifact. Nope. All artifact centric, and that's not what we're doing. Destroy target tapped creature, you gain 2 life. That's kind of useful. Rabbit Citizen. When it enters, choose a white creature card in your hand. That card perpetually gains Offspring 1. That's kind of funny. Because the Offspring is then a token. Also, I have some enchantment creatures, which if I give them Offspring 1 makes another enchantment enter, which is useful. Feat Resistant is a good protection card, gives a counter, gives protection from a colour. Useful. Giada is very cool, but not the deck we want. Whenever you gain life, put a counter on it. Whenever another creature you enter, gain a life. When this enters, draw a card. Cute little cat. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Not particularly. Flash 1/1 with when it enters you make another 1/1. Maybe. Just to give us a couple more flash options. Whenever you gain life, gain that much life +1. Very good. Valorous Stance has the indestructible clause, but there's also a kill spell, so that's pretty nice. Whenever another creature you control enters, pay +1/+1 counter on this creature. As long as this creature has 3 or more counters, it has flying and is a knight. Good cat knight. Not for this deck, though. Whenever another creature enters, you gain 1 life. I think I'm just taking all of these, all the gain life for thing. Human Citizen. When this creature enters, create a food. Whenever you gain a life for the first time, time during each of your turns, create a cat. Yes, make cat tokens. So it turns out I'm actually not building an enchantment deck, I'm just building a Caretaker's Talent deck at this point. Power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. Maybe. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So if I do Psmelli's ability before, if I cast an enchantment before combat, Psmella will have 1 power. Therefore, Delny will trigger their Make a Nymph ability again, because they will have 1 power, which is less than 2, obviously, which will then give me more enchantments faster. So Delny can definitely get in. When this creature enters game 1 life, draw a card. Kind of useful. Creatures you control get indestructible. That's good. We definitely want that. Dun 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 dun. The Tinker's Toe Haversack makes 2 gnomes, and then I can eat it for 3 life. Maybe useful. It's an artifact, but maybe useful. Drop it in for the moment. Oh, that's 101 actually. Take the Tinker's Toe out. We'll keep looking through the rest of the cards and see if there's more cards that are useful than some of the other random cards that we've got. Yes. Yes. See if there are more useful cards, like Twin Blade Paladin. Whenever you gain a life, it gets a counter. When it has 25 or more life, it gains double strike. So that is just strictly better than, if I can find it, than the other one, who was somewhere in here. Loot reinforcement? No. Where was the other one? Oh, Hello Priest, that one. The true drop that gains counters. But instead of a 2-drop that gains counters, I can have a 4-drop that gains counters and then gains double strike. And it just starts bigger. Each player who controls the most creatures investigates and destroy all creatures. No. Release the dogs. Make 4 1/1 white dogs with this cute little terrier in the artwork. Cost 1 less to cast for each cat you control. Eee, cats. So Rarely Reinforcements makes 2 Crown Toughness for 2 mana. But if I put a bigger spell in, also Inspired Commander definitely needs to get in. Whenever another creature you control power 2 or less enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Real good. What else have we got? Signet's just useful. That one I can drop a land for. I think that was the end of the queue. Creatures of a creature type. What creature type are you? Human Bard. So I've got 1 human. 2. That's a human. 2 humans. 3 humans. 4 humans. What's it actually do? A triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers. It triggers an additional time. So you're a human. You have 1 triggered ability, which is their casting enchantments. Gets me nymphs. Pretty good. You have a triggered ability of when gain life, per counter, put that many counters on all your creatures. Do only once a turn. What if I make it twice a turn? Real good. Inspiring Commander. It's a human. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, gain a life. Draw a card. Pretty good. You're an angel, so you don't get it. You're a human. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Elk. Oh, I am at 101. Maybe I take out the Aquarius Memorial. But it's really good. Okay, so far I'm on 1, 2, 3. Nope. Whenever another creature you control attacks, it gets 4. Make your move, make shift, make a stand, hop to it, makes 3 rabbits. Goltail Disciple is not a human. Favored of Aurorus is a human. When enchantment enters, that's 5. Create Gnome, you're probably not super useful. Delny, also a human. If an ability would trigger an additional time. I don't think that's just an additional ability. I don't think that counts. Angel, whenever another creature enters, that's no. Human Citizen, when this enters, make a food. That's an ability. When you gain first life, each turn, make a cat. That's an ability. So that's 6. Angel. You're a human when you enter. Pay 2. That's 7. When you're a human, make a human. Or when you enter, make a human. When you're a human, make a human. Perfect English. So that's 8. A couple of unicorns. And by a couple of unicorns, I mean this unicorn and this sheep. Impassioned Orator is a human. So that's 9. I think that's all my humans. I think 9 is all my humans. I could swap my Johnny's primate for that other human that does the same thing. Slumbering Keep Guard, that's another human. 10. Cat Soldier, Rabbit Cleric. And then enchantments. So if I swap my Johnny's primate for that human that does the same thing. Where is he? Human that's basically in Johnny's primate. Hallowed Priest. It has 1 power and 1 toughness less to start with. That's why it's not as good. But it's basically in the Johnny's primate that's also a human. So if I pick humans for my thingamajig, do I get rid of the fishing pole for an Johnny's primate? Probably. Probably. Oh, helps if I don't do that because it wants you to type in the apostrophe. And I think that's a deck. Let's name it Psmelli. Because I'm going to keep calling them Smelly by accident and mildly intentionally. It's not intentionally at all. It's entirely by accident. Smelly Poet. It's my Smelly Poet deck. We got to have that sleeve, absolutely. And that, while being somewhat ramshackled from what we had, is a brawl deck. I could use some of my, so I ended up getting 6 mythics, 14 rare, 28 uncommon and 23 common mythic wild cards. So I could use those to flush out this deck, but I think I just want to play it once as is with the spells that I opened. Basically all the cards that I opened for starting the game. So now we get to go and play a game with our new deck. Find match. Roll. Smelly Poet. Let's go. Let's see if we can find a brawl match. Ooh, pretty fast. Ooh, they're playing Dovin, Architect of Law. They called their deck Abrupt Coma. This is a starting hand, sure. It's got 2 lands, which I can then use to play the Arcane Signet and the Journeyer's Kite. And then using the 2 lands in the Arcane Signet, I can activate the Journeyer's Kite. So I will keep this. I can also play Smelly and the Angel. Should be doable. We've got a lovely Aztec zone. So their commander is Dovin, Architect of Law, who is a 6-drop Planeswalker. Oh, I'll make sure I actually play my turn. For 4 white-blue, they have 5 loyalty, legendary Planeswalker Dovin, Dovin Barn to be specific. For +1 loyalty, they gain 2 life and draw a card. For -1 loyalty, they tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its control's next untap step, so it gets a stun counter kind of. And -9, tap all permanents target opponent controls. That player skips their untap step. Which is pretty good. As an ultimate goes, it's not entirely backbreaking. No, it's entirely backbreaking. You tap all their permanents, which is all their lands, all their mana rocks, all their creatures. You just get 2 free turns of punching them in the face with whatever you happen to have at the time. So I definitely can't let that resolve that far. We definitely don't want that getting off its ultimate. Because that's just 2 free turns. Actually, it's 1 free turn, kind of. It's 1 free attack and 1 free turn. Which is still really good. A free combat step and a free turn. Like if you had a spell that was just take an extra turn, all your creatures deal damage to target player. That's kind of disgusting. And they're just playing blue-white flyers. They've got Giada, they've got this little fairy. It's just blue-white flyers over here. I gotta stop some of that. Drop my own flyer. Please don't attack me. Thank you. Now we hope they don't have a bounce spell. Ooh, it's Azorius Guildgate. Nice. This person may well have just, like, obscure storefront. Azorius Guildgate. We might be playing Fair Magic. I might have spoken too soon. Lavinia Azorius Renegade. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands they control. Well, it's a good thing I've got this Journeyer's Kite, isn't it? Grab that land, put it into my hand, play it, and then play the Carrot Cake, which makes me a rabbit, and scries me 1. Yeah, I'll keep that guy on top. And then a creature entered, so I gain a life. Nice. Thank you, Dazzling Angel. So far, no enchantments. But that's okay. I don't need to worry about it too much. Psmelli can sit to the side. What are they playing next? Probably Dovin. And they've got a good wall, so we might struggle to get in. 5. Got 5 mana. I can do some stuff. I could play my Hallowed Priest and then munch some Carrot Cake. Oh. At least it's just tapped. It's not dead. Which means I get to keep it as a bit of a life gain buffer. I'm not blocking the rabbit into that one. That would be silly. So I'm just taking a bunch of damage. Let's play... I've got 5 mana to play with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start with this. It triggers itself, which is kind of nice. If we do that, we get 1. We could cast him, which doesn't really do anything. We could eat this, which gains me 3 life. Or we could do this, which kills Lavinia and gains me 2 life. Kind of useful. No point attacking with the rabbit because it'll just die to Giada. But now I am keeping my options open for when Dovin comes down. I can start swinging with this Hallowed Priest and hopefully get some hits in, hopefully. I did miss a land drop though and couldn't use the Journeyer's Kite, which is a little bit sad because I kind of needed to get rid of one of those because I knew Dovin was going to be coming out. And I need to do something about him. Because otherwise they just start getting way too far ahead. Ooh, I drew a land for turn, which puts me at 4, 5, 6. So I play that. I play my Roaming Throne, and name human. Lovely. Creature enters, which triggers that, which triggers this twice. I then eat my cake, which gets me a rabbit. I will put that at the top. We'll keep that at the top. It's an enchantment. We need it. Gives me another life. Gets me 2 more triggers. Gains me a life. Gets me 2 more triggers. And we swing at Dovin Barn with our 9/9. Which they're kind of going to have to block. But they've got a 1/1 flyer that they can just chomp. But I don't know how many more times they'll be able to do that. Maybe infinitely. Who knows? We're getting a decent start now. We've got some rabbits. Our board is wider than theirs. We've got a couple of tokens. We've got a big creature. We've got a life gain trigger when creatures enter from the Dazzling Angel. Next turn we can drop Psmelli and... Oh, or they could blow up the board. I'm still okay with this. Target creature and opponent controls. Are they going to play a creature? No, they're not. I'm okay with that. Hi, Psmelli. Let's go grab a land. And then play it as my land for turn. I need to thin my deck down, like they're doing. Because they could well just be playing all board wipes from here. But if they're just playing all board wipes, it means their free turn is not going to do a lot, I think. And if they start to try and impact the board, I can just, like, if they keep board wiping, I can just kind of sit. And then if they try and do a big swing with something that has haste, or try and flash something in and swing with it, I can stasis snare it. So we're in a decent position. Enters, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. They're just going value. They're just doing value. Gain 2 life, draw a card. They're just doing value. Oh, creatures you control with flying have spells your opponents cast. Notably, spells. If I cast this, we go, hey look, it's an elf. And if I cast this, we go, hey look, I get a nymph. I tap down your blocker. And this enters, the ability from this eats that. And I tap it down as well, because why not? And then Psmelli can get a poke in to keep you off the 9. Nice job, Psmelli. And then maybe Nykthos Paragon can come in and start doing some strong work. Who knows? They might just board wipe again, in all honesty. Maybe it was too eager to play out the Rhyme Fur. Big dragon. When it enters, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. Each of those creatures don't untap during their control of untap step. Interesting. You tap down my elk, and I assume poke me for 2. You take up Dovin Barn again. They're on so much life, because Dovin is just going to keep ramping them. Gain 2 life, draw a card. They're a life gain deck. They're just going upwards. But they're drawing way more cards than me, so eventually... Oh. No, yeah, eventually they will deck themselves out. So I've got 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Take down 2. Yeah, that works. I can do this. Grab a land. Then I play my land. I have 6 mana open to play my Nykthos Paragon. Makes me a nymph. Just tap down their blocker. And then it enters and is an enchantment. And tap down their other blocker. And Psmelli and his nymph poke my opponent. Yeah! Making progress on stopping Dovin ultimating. But if I just continuously play stopping Dovin ultimating, then something else will happen and it will be bad for me. I assume Exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until Thopter Assembly leaves. It's a Banishing Light. That only hits artifacts or creatures. That's fine, I didn't have any life gain. So Nykthos Paragon was just here to be an enchantment. Brings them back down to 3. I need more enchantments. But then my deck just needs more enchantments. That's how that goes. There weren't a huge amount. Ooh. +1/+1 on lifelink, and whenever this creature does come damage to a player, draw a card. And another flyer. They're playing blue-white flyers! Dovin is just here to fuel the engine, I guess. Keep your hand stocked up. No, it's a good deck. Blue-white flyers is a good deck. My life gain as well. Some of my bigger life gain. Because they're just going upwards in life and I'm going downwards in life and it's not going well for me. I also didn't check how much we started on. That's silly. So note to self, I definitely need more enchantments. Because there's a big chunk of this deck that just doesn't do that what it wants to do. Ooh. Enchanted creature gains first strike until end turn, +1/+6. I'll put it on my stag. Why not? Make a nymph. Tap target creature, your blocker. Yes. Do you want to eat your blocker to stop me targeting your blocker with an ability? Because I'll do it. All I'm doing is trying to remove your blocker. Yeah, there you go. Just to be petty, I'm going to put an ability on top of your ability. Haha. Pull a land into my hand. Then I get the enchantment. And then the enchantment enters, and I guess I just tap that. It doesn't keep it tapped, so it doesn't really do anything. Play the land. Play the Favored Hoplite. Psmelli now gets big. And we go 6 at Dovin Barn. And 7 at their face, which gains me 5. Because Smelly's now big. Yay, Smelly!
This is a rare occasion. I'm not often wrong.
Now they get the option to put Dovin Barn back in their command zone. But he now that he's been killed once, now that he's been cast once from the command zone, next time he casts for 2 more, so he costs them 8. Which they can replay. We've got plenty of mana. But they might be in a similar situation. Oh, they're just getting a bunch of life still. Now Smelly only gets big on my turn, which means he's not a great blocker. And given that they're just playing blue-white flyers, I'm not doing a lot of blocking at all, because I can't. Ooh, I'm okay with you putting the elk back in my hand. Gives me something to do next turn. This Mist Dragon with the Staggering Insight is a problem card. Big problem card. Oh, they've given it a second one now. So they're going to draw multiple cards when it hits me. They're going to attack with anything else? Maybe. Nope. Just the 6. That's fine. Play the elk again. Grab a land, because I want to make sure I clean my deck out as much as possible. They're on 64, I'm on 76. I'm still way ahead in number of cards in my deck. Way above in number of cards in my deck, I should say. Flash an enchantment in here. Give it +1/+2. Make another nymph. Tap down the goose. This gets double strike. Goose is tapped. It then enters. Tap down the elite vanguard. This gets double strike again. And then we go to combat. Attack. 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 Go, my army of nymphs. I'm going to gain 6 life off Psmelli, which they can block, which I'm fine with. Get them down a bit, and I go back up to 23. I'm just going to float around 23 with Psmelli. Thanks, buddy. Come off the expense. Now the downside is they've still got a bunch of cards in their hand, and they can recast Dovin, and I'm top decking. But I'm top decking having already pulled like 6 lands out of my deck. So hopefully I won't draw any lands. Hopefully. Tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap creature controls next turn. That's fine. Creature you control with flying gets cost 1 less and enter this turn. And you make one of my creatures smaller for the turn. That doesn't matter. I can't block any of your creatures anyway. Psmelli gets big. We went to combat. Psmelli's big. He's also tapped and doesn't fly. He's big. You better watch out. Down to 11. Dang it. I jinxed it. I said I wouldn't draw a land and I drew a land. How many lands have I even got left in my deck? Still a fair amount. Well, we'll pull one out and then we'll play it. And then he'll get big. And I'll attack. With some of it. I was about to go with everything and then I was like, probably shouldn't be doing that. In fact, if I was going to pretend that I had something, I definitely should have done that. Because now that I've pulled one out, it just makes it really obvious that I don't have anything. And I think I lose. 6, 7, 8. Well, that's 8. 9, 10. 18. Yep, I'm dead. Oh, flyers. Blue-white flyers. No, and then they bounce Psmelli to my hand. Bye, Psmelli. What if I put it back in my command zone? Haha. Take that. I want to spend 2 extra mana for it. Not that you're going to let me because you're going to kill me, but yeah. And they bounce the elk again. So, not a great outcome for us. They did have a blue-white flyers deck that just gains a lot more life than I got. It was a good one. They managed to get there. I unfortunately drew a land when I could have done with a spell, really. -3. They got to 53. The good old 56 point life difference. Me mathsing there. Not great. So it didn't go perfectly, if I'm honest. It could have done better. Could have done a lot worse, in all honesty. Like, actually, truthfully, it could have done a lot worse. But let's go see what edits we can make. So if we open up the not collected section and click on enchantments again, it should show us all the enchantment options there are. So one of those would be amazing. And that we could drop a break the spell for. That doesn't really do anything. Cleric class would be great. And we could drop the Leonin Vanguard for that. Tap enchanted creature. Weird card. Land tax. I didn't know land tax was in here. That's, yep. And ethereal armor. Land tax, ethereal armor. Legion's Landing's pretty good. It casts an enchantment, makes a 1/1 with lifelink, and then flips over. That's a little bit of everything we want, really. So that was 1, 2, 3 that I just added. So I want to take out just some of the token stuff, I guess. Some of the random token things. What's this? Shard Mage's Rescue. Flash. Enchant creature you control. Has hexproof for the turn. +1/+1. Eh. Sigarda's Aid. Gives all my auras flash. And equipments. And when I cast an equipment, I can equip it. Or when an equipment enters, I can equip it. Spells your opponents cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. Whenever you attack until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strength. That's really good. Goodbye, little rabbit. All that glitters is another version of Thingamajigger, ethereal armor. Thingamajigger, what on earth am I on about? What do I remove from all that glitters? I guess like a knight's pledge? No, we want to get rid of some other We'll start at the expensive end. Sorry, Acronis Memorial. But all that glitters is a better win con. Genuinely not kidding. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. Players can't cast spells or activate abilities from their graveyard. Could be useful. Not sure. Creatures you control have vigilance and can block an additional creature. That's pretty cool. And we can drop the Sunblade Samurai for that. I don't really need that. I can drop some of these lands. If I'm bringing down the mana cost of my deck, I can drop some of these lands. What do these do? Makes a wall whenever you cast. Whenever one or more non-creature, non-land permanents you control enter, per +1/+1 count on target creature you control. And then when it becomes level 3, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it makes a wall, and then it cares about casting not creature enchantments. Sure. When this enters, choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature. 3 or more creatures attacked, you solve it, and your creatures get +1/+0. Meh. Meh. I can give it a hop to it now. When it enters, exile target creature, an opponent controls a mana value 3 or less. Whenever an opponent casts a vampire spell with the same name as that card, that's not going to happen. Oh, what was this one? Cares about detectives. Nope. Dawn of Hope. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. Meh. Whenever another creature you control enters or dies, you gain 1 life. He's pretty useful because he's an enchantment creature that gets large toughness. He's not a human, so he doesn't do all the human trickery stuff, but I can swap out like the Flutterfox for him. I guess. Yeah. Dawn of a New Age. What does this do again? No, I need to not be. I have 6 mythics, but I want to use as few as possible. I'm already using one, I think. Land tax. Land tax is already using one. I'm already using a bunch of my rare ones as well. Ooh. Greater Oromancy. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. Enchanted creatures you control have Shroud. The problem with this being that if I'm having it as an aura deck, I can't enchant my own enchantment creatures or enchanted creatures because they will have auras on them and therefore have Shroud. So I really want this to be a good card, but it might just non-bow in the deck. And so I don't know if I want to spend a mythic on a thing that might just do nothing. Glyph Elemental to bestow, has landfall, put counters on itself, and then the creature gets counters, gets +1/+1 equal to the number of counters on it. Yeah, maybe. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained 3 or more life, make a griffin. It's the beginning of your end step. Legendary creature, you can draw it +2/+1. Maybe not. Journey to Nowhere is pretty good. Oh, Intangible Virtue as well. We probably want Intangible Virtue. And we want that artwork of Intangible Virtue. I can swap out some kind of spell for this. Right. I've got spaces left. I probably want to start by just taking out all the things I don't need. So that's good. That's probably staying in. Because it's an enchantment creature, it cares about life gain, which I've got some enchantments that do life gain. Inspiring Commander. Maybe. Angelic Reward, probably. That's good. You could probably leave. I don't know if you care about having enchantments. Not really. You don't really care about enchantments. You just are an enchantment creature. I might be able to swap you out. Fellow Archery is good. Skittering Sphere can go away. Semblance Handbook should probably stay in here. Whoops. Stasis Snare, Prison Sentence. Moment of Valor. I think your move is just a kill spell, which if I'm putting in stuff like Journey to Nowhere. Moment of Valor. Makeshift Binding. Make a Stand. Goldtail Disciple. Favourite of Erois. Dazzling Angel could probably get removed. Cat Collector is kind of nice. When you gain life, you make cat. Oh, I like the cats. I want to make cats. But I'm playing an enchantment deck, not a token deck, even though I've got a Caretaker's Talent. Journey as Kite was useful. Valorous Stance, Unassuming Sage is not as good as I would like. Resolute Reinforcements can come out. Enchantments, 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 enchantments. Life gain, but you're not an enchantment. Cares about life gain, but you're not an enchantment. Removal spell, but not a great one. Cooped Up is an enchantment. Assemble the players. Slumber and Keep Guard cares about enchantments. Military Disciple, Authority of the Council. Okay, so I've got 10 slots to fill. What are we putting in the 10 slots? We can now look through at cards. I'm going to enter choose a creature type. All the creatures of that type get +1/+1. Yeah. the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a might. Nope. Flash. When it enters, exile target tapped creature and opponent control. So I could put that in instead of Arietes Lullaby. Because Arietes Lullaby is a sorcery. This is both an enchantment and instant speed. Dog comes in and draws me a card. They are a cute doggo. They do be a cute doggo. I can swap that for that version. Can. It's not working at the moment. Aura spells cost 1 less. Oh, that one searched for a plains. It's a useful card. I do have 28 uncommons, so I've got plenty. Aura spells cost 1 less. I don't know how much I'm playing aura spells. Like, I might just make this a non-aura enchantment deck. Which means I could... Oh, if I make it a non-aura deck, then I could go back and put in Greater Auramancy. Because if it's not auras... Okay, let's have a look at it if it's not auras. Ethereal Armor and All That Glitters will be the only 2 auras, because they care about number of enchantments, and it means I can put them on my commander, who is not an enchantment, to make him huge. Cool, that's fine. That's an aura that can go. My key guard, you're fine. All the glitters, angelic, you can go. Auras, coop up is an aura that enchants my opponent's creature, so that can stay, that's fine. That's it, the auras that go on other people's stuff. Absolutely fine. The auras that go on my own stuff can come out. Sorry, Unicorn. Pacifism, Petrify. Seal away is fine, because it's not even an aura, apparently. Valorous Stance. Angel. Banishing Light. Caretaker. Oh. Delmy. Favorite of Hoplite. Delmy doesn't even care about... Delmy, you don't even care. But you're good. Make a stand, makeshift binding, moment of valor, prison sentence, stasis, snare, Valadar retreat, glory bearers, Rhinefur, Sarah's embrace, Roman throne, angelic reward. Okay, I've removed all the auras. Now we can have greater auramancy. Big improvement. Now we can go back through and look at non-aura enchantment. Oh, actually, if we're getting rid of all the auras, then I don't need... Didn't even add it. I foresaw this so well. I did not even add Sigarda's Aid. Because I cared about attaching auras, and I was like, nope, I ain't going to be playing auras. I'm going to be playing non-auras. So, sealed away. Good. Dog. Good. Suspension field. Toughness 3 or greater. Good. Grabs a land. Good. Return target creature card with mana value 1 or less. I don't think I have any creatures with mana value 1 or less. Slumbering keep card. And that's it. Not good. What does this do? By Elspeth's command. It says Elspeth. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that wasn't chosen during your last combat. Up to 1 target soldier gets +1/+1 flying. Perpetually gets +1/+1 flying. Choose a soldier. It's soldier relevant. Make a soldier. Soldier card in your hand. Perpetually gets +1/+1 vigilance. Soldier on the field. Perpetually gets +1/+1 flying. pretty cool as a card, but not what we're doing. Ooh, an enchantment creature that has constellation. Oh, whenever Eidolon of Astral Winds or another enchantment you control enters, choose target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature has base power toughness 4/4 and gains flying. It was really good up to the point where it said choose target creature. And unfortunately, if we're playing the lovely Sanctuary, that is Greater Oromancy, we don't want to be targeting our own creatures, because when Greater Oromancy is out, we can't target our own creatures. Whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enters, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Sheep is good. That's a thought. Now that I've done all of this, how many humans do I have? 1. Don't know if I'm keeping you in. In fact, if I'm putting the sheep in, you're probably coming out. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Like Moment of Valor can be replaced by stuff like Make a Stand, where it doesn't target. 2, 3. 3. Still only 3. You're not a human, you're a demigod. Still only 3. 4. I've got 4 humans in here now. So I think the Roaming Throne, I guess 5 humans because Psmelli. Roaming Throne maybe just wants to stay in for triggering Psmelli every time. It might just stay in. It might just stay in. It might be good enough. Oh, they've got Ghostly Prison in here. Oh my god. They've got so many really good enchantment cards. Glorious Anthem, with all your creatures get +1/+1. Some beautiful angel artwork. Grasp of Fate. For each opponent, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent they control. Until Grasp of Fate leaves play. Probably. Oh, Heliod. Heliod's just great. He's just great. Whenever a spell or an ability an opponent controls destroys a non-creature permanent you control, you may destroy target permanent that opponent controls. It's karma. It's karmic justice. Light of Promise is also kind of great. Whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. I don't know. I don't have a huge amount of life gain anymore, I don't think. What is this card? Master the Departed. When it enters, you make a spirit. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, populate. Cool. Not the card for this deck, but kind of cool. I've never seen that card before because I didn't play a lot of Modern Horizons because it was expensive. They've got Phyrexian Unlock. Oh, God. They've got so many cards in this format where I'm just like, what? What? You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. If you have 0 or less, they might also have Solemnity in here. In which case, disgusting. Because that's a combo to just never lose the game. If your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life, whenever one or more creatures you control attacks, you gain a life. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a card I like. I don't know how good it actually is. They've got Solemnity in here. Oh dear. Oh dear. Now this deck's just mean. Restoration of a Ganjo. Discard a card to return a permanent ability 2 or less. That's pretty good. Flicks into an enchantment creature that When it attacks or blocks, makes colorless spirit tokens. 6 more slots. They've got Anointed Procession. This deck is disgusting. This deck is disgusting. Angelic Exaltation. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone. That's kind of great when I'm going wide. It gets big. What was that card I skipped past? I looked at one. Exile each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Nope. That just goes I kill my own deck. That's not what I'm doing. The little sheep bees. It enters exile target creature and opponent controls until food coma leaves the battlefield. Create a food. Fun times. Conclave Tribunal is a good banishing light. It's exile target non-land permanent. It costs a little bit more, but it has convoke, which means you can tap your creatures to make it to help pay for it. Leonif Sanctuary. I get hexproof. Hallowed. They've got Hallowed Haunting in here as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. This deck's going to be disgusting. Now watch the Smothering Tithe. So I'm calling that this deck is going to be disgusting. But watch as I go into a fight and then just get beaten by something really simple. Wait. Is this a format in which I can play Cathar's Crusade and not have to worry about keeping track of all of the stuff? I think this is a format in which I can play Cathar's Crusade and not have to worry about keeping track of everything. This might be great. I do approve. If you would make a token, they become angels instead. Kind of cool. Bit big for doing not a lot in this. Whenever you attack creature, you should +1. Whenever you cast an enchantment, you make an angel. Great. I think that's probably the high end. Oh, that's also card number 100. So, given that the highest spell we've got is a 6-drop, also I need to quickly turn enchantment off and go back in and look at things like Alciad, which gives me protection, which is better than Feat of Resistance. Full team protection. And so we go Oracle. Indestructible. Oh god, I have to spell. Indestructible. Alright, I spelled it correctly. I want one that says creatures you control become indestructible, which is going to be probably like 3 drops, but maybe there's a 2-drop that does it. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Selfless Spirit's pretty good. But I think I need some common and uncommon ones instead, which means they can be more expensive. Did I put Heliod in there? I did put Heliod in there. Ooh. There we go, stuff like Unbreakable Formation. We've got Make a Stand. That one's pretty great. Do we have others? Like Make a Stand? Nope, not really. Ah well. What have we got in the colourless section? What have we got in the way of cheap mana rocks that preferably don't take up the mythic slot? We don't have a lot in our way of cheap. Oh, these were the 1-drops, that's why. We haven't actually got to the cheap mana rocks yet. I was there like, there's not a lot in the way of cheap mana rocks. We're not getting a lot. And it's like, it's because these were all 1-drops. If you were getting them here, I would be worried. I think Springleaf Drum is kind of good. Tap an untapped creature. It doesn't target. Could be useful. I've got quite a cheap deck currently, so that basically is a mana rock. Wayfarer's Bauble is a good card. We've got the Arcane Signal ready. Yeah, there's not a lot of cheap mana rocks. Now that we're actually going through the 2-drops, I feel okay saying that. We've got an Emerald Medallion. If they have a Pearl Medallion, I'm taking it. Because ridiculous. As far as cards go, the medallions are pretty ridiculous. They've got a Jet Medallion. It's looking promising. They probably have the full medallion set. Mind Stone's pretty good. Drop a Mind Stone in here. There it is, Pearl Medallion. Easy include. Just quickly go through the rest of the 2-drops. There's probably not many. Yeah, there's not going to be any other mana rocks, are there? No, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Yep, we've then hit the 3-drops. Cool. So I'm now 4 cards over. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. That's the way I'm meant to do it. When you click on that, it adds one. When you click on the name, it removes one. Better. So, now that we've filled out the deck with building a really good deck, 90% of which I do not own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So I'm using my wildcards on 37 cards. Let's see if I have enough. 5 mythics, 12 rares. I don't think I have 12 rares. I did. I had enough mythics and rares. I've still got 1 mythic, 2 rares, 11 uncommons, 20 commons. So, as it stands, I don't know why I did that. That didn't do anything. As it stands, I could build a deck for Brawl out of what I opened, because I used the wild cards to finish off the deck. I am then done with deck building. Hello, Kephas the Elementalist. Welcome to my weird stream. Hopefully my my lag will go away. We had it again today. And jump into Brawl with my Psmelli Poet. So, what you missed is we did a load of pack openings. We played a jump start. We started with the tutorials today. That then gave us the intro stuff, which was the intro decks, and a jumpstart jump-in token, and 1,000 coins. We did jumpstart, which opened us modified enchanted. I'm definitely keeping this hand. Land tax, Mindstone, fantastic hand. And they're going first, so my land tax is just going to pay off. Perfect land tax value. Yeah, we started off with the tutorials, then Jumpstart, in which we got modified enchanted. From there we opened Psmelli, who's one of the new anime art legendaries. from Jumpstart. And Ritual Net asked me to build a full deck for it. And I kind of wanted to anyway, because I do like the enchantment decks, and it's mono white, so I am okay with that. Oh no. Oh no, this is going to be bad for you. Discard a card. I will discard one of those planes that I grabbed. Yeah, we then opened all of the packs that we started with. For joining the game, it gives you a load of packs as like welcome notifications. It gives you like 3 packs of a bunch of different sets. And I entered my pre-release code from Foundations, which get us another 6 packs of Foundations. We then played a couple more games of Jumpstart. And then I built this similar deck called Psmelli Poet. Ew, 2 poison counters. That's not great. But I called it Smelly Poet because it's funny. And I'm silly. And then, yeah, from there I lost a game, unfortunately. But now I'm playing a second game, having traded in a bunch of the wild cards that I opened, that I gained for opening all the packs that I got for free, to finish building an actual good Auras deck. And we're now testing it out to see if it's actually a good Auras deck. But we're playing against an alchemy card. What do we do? Fergal Qua Nurturer. 2 black green. Let me read you. Legendary creature, elf shaman, 2 powerful toughness. I'll easily do that. I don't want to get more poison. At the beginning of your end step, conjure a card named Slimy Dual Leech on the battlefield if you control no leeches. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on each leech you control. Leech. Sacrifice a creature, add an amount of green equal to the sacrificed creature's power. And a dual leech, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control power 2 or less gets +1/+0 and gains death touch. Ooh. Nasty. Yep, I'm going to grab 3 more planes out of my deck. Land tax making its due, just grabbing every land out of my deck. Let's go with Taxos, which gets me a Nymph. And Greater Auramancy, which gets me a Nymph. It didn't get me a Nymph. The first enchantment spell you cast each turn. I'm a goof. I'll attack with my 5/5 commander though. If I'd known it was the first one, I would have spaced these out a bit more. Done 1 a turn and ticked this up instead. But I guess the Shroud is more important. So Psmelli can only make me 1 Nymph a turn. But it's each turn. Okay. Three forward Death Touch. What if I was to throw a Nymph in front of it? Then what would you do? Creature die, I gain a life, which becomes 2 life because of the Cleric class. Yeah, Greater Auramancy being a problem. Even though my commander is not a enchantment. There we go. I had to use a removal spell on my Greater Auramancy instead. Which I am okay with, because it's just there to be a problem. And then... Right. I was about to be like, why is it marked that it's daytime? I don't know why that's important. It's important because of Curse of Leeches. It flips over into a Leech. They're playing Leech Tribal. Okay, I kind of love this. Like, I'm just playing a Triardy enchantment deck. They're playing Leech Tribal. That's badass. I approve of their Leech deck. Seems fun. Drop Spirited Companion, that will get me another Nymph. Your maximum hand size is 7. I disagree. My maximum hand size is going to be all of the lands. And then they'll all go to my graveyard. Then we'll take up this. Then we'll go to combat and we'll attack with Psmelli again. Because they're back to being at 5. Because everything is an enchantment. Smelly Poet, go! Then I gained life. Got a counter on my commander. And then I have to discard down to hand size again. 3 cards. There we go. There's still 1 planes that they've seen. At some point I might stop land taxing. They killed Daxos. Probably the correct play. They're playing a lot of naturalizes for a deck that's just running leeches. Is there a lot of artifact relevance in this set? Yum. Need to pull every card from my deck. Get all these lands out of here. And we'll take this up and get Daxos back. Yep. From graveyard to battlefield. Gain life with its toughness. Put another counter here. I'm back to having 5 enchantments. Means I then go to combat and use a 7/7. Continue attacking! You can't stop me attacking with your leech. And then I gain life, so I'll take it up to an 8/8. And I pass the turn, he goes back to being like a 4/4. He's got 4 cards. Goodbye, all those lands. I didn't cast a spell, so it's now night time, and that's going to stop hitting me. Which I'm okay with. Not a toxic insect. Are they just playing insect tribal? It just happens that their commander cares about leech. What is it? Is it insect tribal? Is it leech tribal? Like, I really love the leech theme, but I can see why you're playing insects, because there's probably not many leech creatures in the game. In fact, I think there's like, maybe, if that. And they cast multiple spells, which means this flips back over into being a curse of leeches on me. Please stop the curse. It hurts. Right, I'm going to get to my spells. Yeah, there we go. Land for turn. Angelic Exaltation, which gets me another Nymph. Gains me life. Puts a counter on a thing. Let's put it on himself again. And this comes in. Then he becomes a 9/9 with lifelink. And I attack with my 9/9 with lifelink. Because it's attacking alone, it gets an extra +5/+5. I'm going to gain loads of life, but I'm going to die to this random toxic bug. Let's give Daxos a counter. Why not? We'll leave the toxic bug for this turn. Next turn we'll try banishing lighting it and see what happens. What have we got? Straight to combat, I see. That is reasonable. And a new slimy leech. And that flips back over into a leech. I play my land. I drew a ghostly prison, which gets me another nymph. And then is ghostly prison. The nymph entering triggers Daxos, which puts another counter on a creature. Put it on my commander again. And the ghostly prison comes in. Not going to stop them hitting me, but ghostly prison, what are you going to do? Pay the 2? Don't be ridiculous. Psmelli becomes big, attacks on its own, becomes even bigger. Thanks, Angelic Exaltation. They jump with a leap. Boop. And then it gains life. So I put another counter on Psmelli. And then I could cast these. One of them at least. But I'm not going to, because I want to cast one a turn. And currently I'm still not in trouble from this, because it is Toxic 1. So I'm still not in trouble from that Persistent Siphoner. I have way too much life for that to be a problem. So I think I'm fine. Like, even if they turn sideways, I've got nymphs to chump block a bunch of stuff. Ooh. Take creature gains +6/+6, it's indestructible. I can't block it anyway, it flies. So we're fine. Are you paying the 2 for Ghostly Prison? Yes. Good. And you can come on in and give me another infect count, another poison counter. I almost called it an infect counter, and it basically is. And play a Plains, play the Ram, which then makes me a Nymph, which gains me a life, which puts a counter on Psmelli. Psmelli's a rather silly poet. And Ram enters, which gains me a life, which puts a counter on Psmelli. See, when I started looking through the list of what cards you can get on Arena, it just became inevitably obvious that the enchantment deck was so easy to build. Because there's just so many really good enchantments in this format on Arena. Like Ajani's Welcome, Daxos, Cleric class is a great little combo. Ghostly Prison's a great card. We've got Cathar's Crusade, which is great. We've got the Solemnity Phyrexian Unlife combo, which is... It's just a you can't win the game because I've won the game. We've got Land Tax, which is amazing. We've got Angelic Exaltation, which is amazing. We've got... We could have a Smothering Tithe, which would just be ridiculous, but I don't even need it because Land Tax gets me all the mana I could need when most of my deck costs like 4 and below. We've got the Eidolon, the big Eidolon and the little Eidolon, the Alseid. Are they tapping this? Ah. They tapped out to play Samworm Convergence and now can't attack. With flying, can't attack your planeswalkers you control. That's fine. My commander doesn't have flying. Game upkeep, I gain a life. And put a counter on Psmelli. It's kind of like a leech. I approve. You know what, Unyielding Flame? I like your deck better than I like mine. Like, Sandworm Convergence plus Leech theme. Fantastic. No faults. So I could play Solemnity. However, it nombos with the Cleric class. So I'm just going to not play it. Like, I'm just going to sit with it in my hand. Stop spreading out some of these counters. Actually, I'd probably, now that they've got a 5/5 worm, I probably should put more on. More counters for Psmelli! They need to be unreasonably large. Unreasonably large. They are a 25/26 lifelink creature. Doesn't have trample, so you can just throw whatever under it. Yeah, you just throw a leech. You get another leech next turn. It's fine. And then I get life. Put another counter on Psmelli. At the beginning of your end step, you make a worm. That's fine. I can Banishing Light that next turn, if I want to. Yeah, between Banishing Light and Solemnity, I think Banishing Light is better. And the Sandworm Convergence is more of the target over their commander. Because, yeah, their commander makes a leech, but they're not keeping the leech when I attack every turn because they have to chump block with it. Do you spend the 2 for Ghostly Prison? Good. 5 poison counters. So that's like Sandworm Convergence is clearly the best. But I have to get there faster than this Pestilent Siphoner. Which means I need to draw another removal spell. Oh, but that's just good. But this is just good. Let's put it on Psmelli again. Go, Psmelli! Yeah, he's got lifelink and he's vigilant now, so attack, massive. I still probably Banishing Light the Sandworm Convergence next turn. Could also do it this turn if I really wanted to. Dog. I'll just do it this turn. I've been sat on it long enough and I'm going to keep drawing enchantments that are better to play than it. So I'm just going to do it this turn and not get a nymph for it. Which I'm okay with. It's fine. And my Solemnity is there just in case I get too close with Toxic, that I can then just drop Solemnity and go, no, no more poison for me. Phyrexian, oh, it's leeches and worms! Oh, this is fantastic. It's leeches and worms. Always leeches and worms. And then you pay the 2 for my Ghostly Prison. They have no notes for their deck. It's great. They've got good mana rocks. They've got a good mana base with some desert for cycling. Oh. Oh no. Heliod is here. They're the first enchantment I'm casting, so I get a nymph. And then Daxos gives me a life. Cleric class puts a counter on a thing. Heliod enters. Daxos gives me a life. Cleric class and Heliod both put a counter on a thing. You can go there. You can go there. Then I play a land. Counter on everything and give it vigilance. Why this deck was just so easy to build. And then I just sit on Solemnity, I guess. I drew a better enchantment. Whee! If I draw another land, these nymphs become as big as their worms. Which is just a problem. Exactly, what is this monster of a deck that you've made me build? You told me I should build this guy, and I built him with all the stuff I had, and then went, what if I just played it? Like, what if I spent a few tokens? After, like, I completely forgot they had a creature with death touch. So my biggest problem is gone. Right. The biggest problem is now gone. Right. No. Didn't think so. Still massive problem here. Yeah, I spent like, admittedly most of my wild cards that I opened, but this was the free deck that I was given. I just built this by just grabbing like a bunch of mythic and rare and removal enchantments and sticking them in this guy's deck. Still got a death touch creature, which I don't know if I care about anymore. Because my biggest creature, remove all counters from that creature. Nice. Very cool. Get to remove the 6 counters from Heliod and make it a 3/3 for the turn. It's still indestructible, but that's pretty cool. Also, were you saying what a monster of a deck at my deck or at their deck? Because their deck's awesome. Look at all these worms and leeches. And this little bug that's probably going to end up killing me. I say, knowing full well it's not going to kill me. Oh no, another 2 with Toxic 1. If only I had some way to stop it. Because they keep paying for my ghostly prison. They put a counter on all of their leeches. Nice. Boop. Boop. So, Solemnity, while stopping me dying to mine. Yeah, mine is the disgusting deck. So Solemnity stops me dying to the Infect. However, it stops me putting counters on all my creatures. So I don't really want to play it yet. I'm like holding off for as long as possible. And given that they've only got Toxic 1 on the field, I feel safe in the knowledge that I'm still 3 turns off dying. However, they could have spells that give extra Toxic. But I think most of the spells only give like Toxic 1 or 2. Which if they have a spell that gives Toxic 2, I die. But if they don't, then I'm fine for another turn. Do I want to Angelic Consultation, or do I just want to turn sideways? I think I just want to turn sideways. I think I'm just attacking with everything. Because then I get this happening. And yeah, they kill one of my creatures, maybe 2 of my creatures. But my nymphs are now bigger than their worms. And I can give a bunch of them. I can give 6 of my creatures lifelink. kind of gross. It's kind of gross. I don't like that I built this deck. Why did you make me build this deck? Don't think I should have built this deck. It's not very nice. None of my stuff tramples though, so they can just chuck a load of creatures under it. But they have to block basically everything, and I don't think they have enough creatures, because I've also got these 4 nymphs, which if 4 of them hit, they die. Like, currently they're dead. Currently they're still dead, because I've got 2 7/8s. Like, good game? I'm pretty sure you lose. This sheep. Dying to a worm and a leech. Wait, they double blocked my sheep. Oh, I never. They're killing me. Wait, they didn't even kill my sheep. They double blocked my sheep and didn't kill it. My sheep gets to live! It was foretold in the mouse writings of... Was this... Did I have fun in this match? In all honesty, I had a lot of fun, because I love mono white, I love enchantment decks. It was great fun. I also feel real bad for my opponent. But I had fun. I loved seeing their deck. It was great. It was fantastic. I feel bad that I just kind of like stomped on them a bit. A lot. But I loved the theme of their deck. Leeches and worms. I big approve. So that was